Hey guys, this is Marc Goldberg from Marc Vlogs Watches with just a couple of quick things for you today. Well, first of all, you're gonna hear a little bit of whining because I got my new dog in the house, and this is kind of her first time in the house. She's kind of making the transition from kennel to house, so I'm holding on to the leash. And anyway, yeah, it's a whole process. If you ever need to know how to introduce a new dog into your home, well, read my book. Let dogs be dogs. But that is not the purpose of this video. Today, I want to talk to you a little bit about your Grail watch and what to do with Baselworld coming right up. Bezel? I said bezel. I mean Basel. Okay, but first, before we get into all that stuff, let's do the quick fist watch check and shut this shepherd up. Hey, quiet. Let's do the fist watch check, girlfriend. Ready? It is a Rolex Skydweller. Okay, guys, I think I have the shepherd quieted down now. I've told her to lay down, and that seemed to settle her a little. Okay, so listen, here is a quick point. I don't care how much you love your Grail. To somebody else, it's an abomination. It's a shitter. It's ugly. I often tease Austin Daniels for saying that the Polar Explorer 42 millimeter is an abomination, and that if someone even gave him one, he would like sell it or get rid of it right away because it's big and it's ugly. And yet it's one of my ultimate favorite watches. And so is this Skydweller. In fact, when I do this, I just kind of like want to stop the video and stare at the watch in the front-facing camera because it's so pretty. But somebody left a comment on one of my, on one of my other videos where this was the quick fist watch check. Hey, shush. And what he said was, no offense, but your Skydweller is an abomination. Well, hey, look, guys, let me tell you what I'm not. I'm not thin-skinned, I'm not sensitive, I'm not worried. But what I know is that guy probably is in love with a Grand Seiko diver with a quartz movement, or something. Whatever it is, he doesn't like this. Maybe he's in love with the, with the pre-ceramic Submariner, and I think those are tinny and awful. Yet maybe that's your heart's desire to have one. I don't really care what you love. Understand, no matter how beautiful, no matter how beautiful your Grail is to you, to somebody else, it's awful. And guess what? That doesn't matter. I don't care what that guy or anybody thinks of this watch. I love it. And not only that, you know what? Let's cough it up. Let's own up to the fact that there's a little bit of snob appeal in it for me, because number one, it's a Rolex. Number two, it's Rolex's most complicated watch. And number three, it has an MSRP of a little over $17,000. So you know what? If you don't like it, go wear a G-Shock in the bathtub, or while digging ditches or whatever it is that you do, get it covered in, yeah. Well, you know what I'm saying. Do I sound bitter? I think I sound bitter. But I think really, I'm not. I'm joking. What I want to tell you guys is, oh look, it's a Adrian and Bark moment that we're having here together. With a real bark. Well, whine. It's kind of annoying, sorry. Hey, if you want to get a much better look at this dog, go look at my live stream. It's posted up called Marc and His Dog. Hey, you're like obnoxious. Okay, whatever your Grail is, be not afraid. Do not be deterred. You know what drives me crazy, speaking of Grails and other people's opinions and stuff, is, I'm in the Rolex collectors forums and, a couple Rolex forums on Facebook, and over and over again, I see a guy post up 2 Rolexes and say, which one should I get? Or he posts up a watch, this is my Grail, what do you guys think? You know what? Who gives a what anybody thinks? If you like it, make it your business to go get it. Now, I understand if you're looking for other people's pros and cons, to just get a sense of, how does this watch rank in the horological universe? That I understand. But literally, there's guys basically putting it up to a vote, as to which watch they should get. And I think that's incredibly stupid. How do I know which watch you should get? I mean, I'll put my email in here, and people often ask me questions, and I'm happy to help. But look, if you're going to ask me, should I buy a GMT or should I buy a Submariner? For just as one quick example, well, I want to know a lot about you. Or maybe you say, which Rolex should I get? That's a common question. I want to know how old you are, what you do for a profession, what other watches you have, what's your style, what are your hobbies, right? Because if you turn out to be a 28-year-old investment banker with a little bit of cash and you travel, on a regular basis, and you're an experience-based millennial and you really like your experiences, I'm going to suggest that you go get a GMT, because that thing you can take it right into you can take it right into the ocean with you. You can snorkel with it, and also you can track multiple time zones at the same time, right? If you are a 30-year-old guy, and let's say you're an Uber driver, and all your spare cash is going to alimony and child support, but you want something fun in the way of a watch, well, heck, I might suggest a G-Shock or an Oris or a Seiko Turtle. I need to know a whole lot about you, your personal style, your taste, your financial situation. I need to know a lot before I can decide what watch that you should have. And I won't be offended if you don't like it. If you hate every watch in my collection, hey, you know what? That's fine with me. If you're happy with your Patek Philippe, which is way over anything that I own, or if you're happy with your Seiko, which is way under anything that I own, including Grand Seiko, I think those are way under too. But if you're happy with those, bless your heart. I think it's really important that you're satisfied with the watches that give you pleasure, and you really should worry less about the other guy. Naturally, we are drawn together, and I think that's normal. So we're going to want to compare notes, but do not be deterred by other people's opinions. Just as if you think my grail is an abomination, tell me in the comments. But guess what? I don't care what you think. Honestly, I don't care. Now, if you love it, I want to hear all about that, and I want to hear about that in great detail. If you hate it, well, don't give me too much detail, but you can tell me. Anyway, you want to know what, by the way, maybe one of the worst things I feel that you can say about this watch is that for like a little bit more money, you could put yourself into low-level Patek Philippe, like Calatrava, for more, but not crazy more. And I think, to me, that's like one of the worst things that you can say about like a two-tone Rolex Skydweller. Or maybe you just hate two-tone. I prefer to call it Rollosaur. But hey, whatever your pleasure, don't worry. Just be committed to exploring and developing your own sense, your own taste. Don't really worry about what anybody else thinks of watches. Sure, it's a great idea to exchange opinions and ideas, but don't let anybody else tell you what you should buy, because the second you buy a watch in order to impress the next guy, you know what? 8 months later, you're going to wind up flipping it at a loss because you never wanted it, you never liked it in the first place. Take some time and develop your own aesthetic, if you will. That takes time, okay? But that's what this channel and all the other watch channels are. That's what we're here for, guys. Now, part 2 of this video, Baselworld, or Baselworld, damn it. Anyway, listen, I think it's very important that if you have a modern classic Rolex, like a GMT or a Sub or a Milgauss or something that you want to dump out of, you've just been thinking, you want to get rid of it, do it right now. Do it before Baselworld. Here's why. Because at Baselworld, I believe that for example, the GMT and the Submariner, as 2 examples, are going to be discontinued, and they will be reissued like instantaneously with a new reference number and with the new movement. Right now, they've got the 40-hour power reserve, and I think they're about to be upgraded with a 70-hour power reserve, and they'll get a new reference number with a 2 in the location where the 1 used to be on those references. Okay, so here's the thing about that. When that happens, the value of what you own right now is going to temporarily dip, because a whole lot of people will be putting them on the market wanting to upgrade. But that will be very temporary. That'll be a 6-month phenomenon, and the prices of those watches will rise again. So when the Pepsi GMT on the Jubilee bracelet came out, a lot of guys wanted to dump out of their Batman in order to put in for the new Pepsi, and that put a whole lot of Batman on the market all at once, and therefore the price fell. And then 6-8 months later, not only did it rise, but it rose up above where it had been previously. And so just be aware that there are these weird little rhythms and cycles to the used market, and things that are discontinued at Baselworld tend to fall temporarily and then climb back up higher even than where they were before. I feel like the worst time to sell anything is right after Baselworld, when all the new shiny objects are out and you're thinking, oh, mine now is not the latest and it's not the greatest, and I'm going to sell it and put the money towards the next thing. I feel like if you do that, you're definitely going to take a loss on that watch. So do not be faint of heart. Be brave. Have the courage of your convictions. If you love your grail, well, screw what anybody else thinks about it. Do not be deterred by anybody else. Just be confident in your own opinions, number one. And number two, don't sell immediately after Baselworld. Wait at least 6 or 8 months and see if you don't benefit from a rising tide of prices at that point. Plus which, the new thing won't be all that new, and maybe you'll realize, I don't need the new thing. I don't need the new iPhone. Actually, this is the conclusion that I have for you. I'm filming this right now on my iPhone 8 Plus. This is the first year, I can't even remember in how long, but this is the first year in many years that I did not go out and buy the shiny new iPhone immediately upon its introduction. And maybe I will do that when they come out with the next ones in the fall. Maybe I won't. I finally hit a plateau with these things where they got so good that even these, new little features are not like that important to me compared to the money that you have to spend in order to get them. And I think watches are a whole lot like that. Let's stop being attracted by like, ooh, shiny, ooh, new, and let's enjoy what we actually have. Love your grail, and if the other guy doesn't like it, you know what? His collection probably is a whole lot worse than yours anyway. Well, this is Marc Goldberg. Thanks for being with me. Like this video. Let's talk about this whole topic in the comments. Subscribe, turn on the notification bell. Peace out.
Paint the sky your favorite color.